I think it's about time that we dig into plugins in a little more detail. So today I want to talk about an equalizer plugin, which is also called an EQ sometimes, right? And the one I want to talk about specifically is called the Pro Q, and it's made by Fabfilter. So there's a Pro Q3 that's out. I have the Pro Q2. I have to update mine, but they're pretty similar between the 2 and the 3. The different versions, they're pretty close. So I'm just going to show you what I have here. And before we get started, the song that I have open here is a song called Mad Scientist, and it's by a band called Evan Diamond and the Library here in San Diego, California. So thank you so much to Evan Diamond and her band for letting me use their songs as an example here. So I'll just find an example here. I think the lead guitar EQ might be a good example here. So here we go, the Fabfilter Pro Q. So Pro Q2 or Pro Q3, depending on which version you're in. And so it'll look pretty familiar if you're familiar with equalizers, right? There's nothing huge or revolutionary here in the way that it looks right off the bat. I do love this plugin though. This plugin is always the first one that I reach for when I'm using an equalizer. It's pretty much always, I think that's a pretty fair statement. So it's almost always the first thing that I'll reach for when I'm going for an equalizer. This is one of the few plugins where I tend to just go with habit here, so I tend to just pick this one and use this one. And I really like it. I enjoy it. I'm comfortable with it. So I don't usually give it a ton of thought. I'll just open it up and start working with it. So starting down here, you'll see that there are a bunch of options at the bottom here. So there are some options for how it handles phasing. So zero latency is better for tracking, for example, whereas natural phase and linear phase introduces a little more delay into the system, but it handles it in slightly different ways, a little bit more transparent ways. So that's why I'm in natural phase here right now. Let's see, we have different options for the analyzer here. And this is one of the things that people debate about, right? So I'm in favor of having an analyzer. I think it helps beginners especially figure out where frequencies tend to lie in the spectrum, and I'll show you it here in a minute. But I think I'm in favor of it. I do agree with the idea that it's what you hear and not what you see that really matters, and you should be able to operate without seeing things. But sometimes having an analyzer can help speed things up, for example, and it can help those beginners figure things out. So I do like that they have an analyzer on this plugin. This analyzer is one of the reasons why I'll recommend it to beginners a lot, right? Because it can help them figure out where things lie on the frequency spectrum. So you have a few options here for the analyzer, including whether it's pre and post. So that can be very helpful depending on what you're doing and what you want. So I'll just show you some details of using this EQ, like details that I tend to use. So let me hit play here on part of the song. Where am I? Maybe right here. I think there's like a nice little guitar solo type of thing going on here. I am on the lead guitar, right? Yeah, I'm on the lead guitar. So I will show you that. I'll bypass the plugin on and off so you can hear what I did. Basically with the EQ here, I was trying to give the lead guitar its own space and then notch filtering out some of the nastiness in the guitar. I went a little wild with this one. Well, we'll hear how it sounds. So I will hit play. So you see the analyzer working there. You can actually see where everything's falling on the frequency spectrum. That's super helpful. And maybe what I should show you is starting a version of this plugin, an iteration of this plugin fresh. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up a fresh version of this plugin here. And one of the things that I tend to do right from the start, you can just hold Command and click to add bell curves here, to add points here, to add bands here. But what I like to do is I like to click this button until I get to the flat 7 band option, and then I'll go from there. So then I'll, change things. I might, listen for something to notch out, and then when I get it where I want it to be, I'll bring the gain down, for example. With these, you can also pick like different options here, like the notch option, for example, if you really want to notch something out. You can make it a bell curve. That's pretty standard for our middle frequency bands, right? You can also have like high cuts and low cuts, high and low shelves, all the stuff that we see in other EQs. So I do take advantage of this feature a lot. And I also like starting with this flat 7 bands option because it does have this high pass and this low pass option that you can then really easily turn on and get cracking with. So You can also adjust the actual slope on this, right? So you can make it a steeper slope, you can make it a more gradual slope. There's a ton of discussion in the audio world about, different slope rates and how some of them are worse than others or better than others or have more of an effect on the overall sound, but we don't need to get into that today. Basically, you can change it pretty easily, which is pretty cool. Another thing that's pretty cool about this plugin that I like is if you're working on a specific band here, so let's say I'm working on this purple band that's at about 397 hertz, you can really easily click and hold on this headphones icon and hear just that band. And so that can really help you target what you're going for, right? And depending on that Q value, it's going to target a different range, right? A different bandwidth. So that's pretty handy. That's pretty helpful. I can show you that really quick here. So let me hit play. Find out where I am. So yeah, those are the basics of this plugin. There are more features if you want to dig into it, if you want to try it out, that you can explore. So I do recommend doing that. I find this plugin super helpful, super handy, and I reach for it every time I'm working on something, at least once, usually multiple times though. So that's the Fabfilter Pro Q equalizer. So yeah, that's it for today. I would love to hear what you guys think about videos like this in the comments below. Should I keep doing videos like this where we dig into a specific plugin each time? I would love to know your thoughts on that in the comments below. And, as always, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I would appreciate all of that stuff. And I do have that Patreon. So it's patreon.com/CatoNoise. My patrons do get access to additional content. And that includes access to a Discord server where we've all been hanging out and helping each other out, sharing our work, talking about gear. We have a book club now on there. It's been a ton of fun. So if you do feel so inclined, go check out my Patreon at patreon.com/CatoNoise. And other than that, I come out with new videos every Wednesday. And thank you so much for watching. Okay. It's like so much construction outside. I hope it's not messing everything up. I got this ribbon microphone from Sylvia Massey recently. She got like a bunch of museum, it's not content, what's the word? She got a bunch of museum pieces. She bought up a whole museum basically. And so she was selling some of the stuff, and I bought this ribbon microphone from her that I'm really excited about. And she also sent me this poster, which I'm super pumped about. So that's fun. I've been doing giveaways on my live streams. If you haven't checked out my live streams, that's been a lot of fun. I've currently, while filming this, I'm doing a giveaway for some cooling foam replacement pads for studio headphones. I don't know what I'll be giving away when this video actually comes out. I tend to film these like a few in advance and then go for it. So, but I'll probably be running some kind of giveaway at that point. So if you haven't checked out my live streams, go check that out if you're interested in maybe winning stuff. And the live streams have been a ton of fun. We've just been hanging out. Like, I have a guest on each time and we just hang out and chat. And that's actually been a lot of fun. It helps me keep up with people and I've been enjoying them. So, okay, bye.